All right, guys, this is going to be a little more of a somber one, but I'm still bringing you guys along for the ride. I'm doing just a quick overnight in a hot tent and with a wood burning stove. I'm going up to the mountains, right off of the Poudre River, and what it is I unfortunately am grieving. And this is my way of doing it. I'm not going to get too into the details on the video, but like I said, I am bringing you along for the ride, and we'll see how it goes. I have an old Sears tent. Literally looks like a circus tent, and I've modified it a little so that way I can put a stovepipe through it, and I got a wood-burning stove and my other normal camping gear, and I got the dog, got Lilu with me, and we're looking at great weather. It's only going down to like the 20 something degrees. It's not going to be too cold, so that's good. Yep. I'll see you out there, and we'll set up camp, and I'll see you when you know what I mean. All right, so got a little bit of an issue. I forgot my axe. Big mistake there. I also forgot my 45, my pistol. So that makes this, which I had brought more for fun than anything else, now this is a vital tool for me today. Which is one of my big arguments towards using large Bowie knives, is in the wilderness world, if you don't have a multi-tool with you, this is your multi-tool. This is your shovel, this is a hatchet, and it's a self-defense tool, and it's a knife. For everyday tasks, I got the Lone Star Hunter out of retirement here. And that's what I'm going to be doing for small cuts. But this guy's going to do most of my wood processing and whatnot. So I have this old Sears wall tent that you'll see me put up, and I'm going to put it up pretty much right around here. I'll throw the camera up, do a time lapse, and whatnot. But the thing is the way this works, the way the tent goes up better is if I put the fabric down first and then stake it all in nice and tight. Again, I forgot my axe. And usually what I would say is go ahead and use the back of the blade, but I don't want to. This was an expensive knife and I'd really rather not. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go find a branch and I'm going to carve myself a hammer. Again, I'll still be using this knife. So good thing I brought that. Just for fun, actually ended up being really important. All right, so I have the other camera, so I hope you can actually see, but I just did a simple chop away at this piece of beetle-killed ponderosa. I just needed a small handle. I know a lot of guys, they'll pull their saw out, they'll notch it out, they'll make it look really perfect. I'm using it for one task, probably gonna burn it, so I just need it to hammer 4 or 5 stakes. So that's what I'm doing. I'll give you a time lapse of doing this. Yeah, I don't know how much of a time lapse you got. I knew I should have brought the better tripod. Anyways, that circus tent looking ass thing is mine. That's an old Sears tent. So it might have been from the 60s to 80s, maybe even earlier than that. So I got it from a lady that worked with Outward Bound a lot, and they used it for their kids and stuff. So yeah, it's a good tent though. It's old, it looks goofy, but it does the damn job. All right, so I have the tripod pretty low, but as you can see, this is awesome. I can stand up entirely, no ducking or nothing. I got a wood burning stove here. Got some I had to make the modification myself for that hole up there. I don't know if you can see that. So I bought a fire-resistant thing, and I that's actually what it's for, is a stovepipe. It's designed for that. It's set up for this. So, and it's a fire-retardant fabric. So this thing is great. I got more stovepipes. I got one with a thing on top and everything. Oh, I better go get that. See you in a second. Oh, Lulu! Yeah, so I got, on the top and a screen, and I put the legs in there. That's why I needed it so bad. So this thing's pretty awesome. I've got stuff for stoking it and everything. Closes up like that. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so I'll throw these legs in here. And this is universal stovepipe size. Well, not all of, there are different ones, but you can get that at a hardware store, and you can get them that angle different ways. So one thing I haven't done with this, but I plan on doing, is setting it up to where I can use it in my garage or my basement. You can set that up to where it stovepipes out a window, and you can have it in some other space. And there we go. Okay. I'll make that work, but that's kind of rickety. I'm gonna have to level this a little more, but I wanted it sloped just a little bit this way, so that all right, so I wanted it sloped a little bit this way, but it sloped a lot, so I'm gonna have to level that out, and definitely gonna have to secure that a little better. But let's get this set up. It's not the one. Certain one. Lay down. You're gonna knock my camera over. All right. Go lay down. And okay, she ain't. All right, so this is where. And there is snow under here, so it is a thing where I got to worry about that. And I don't think that I need these two, so I'll go ahead and set this up outside. All right, stove's all set up. And I got a cooking grate up on top of here. I'll put pan and stuff there. What do you think, Lilu? Huh? What? All right. So now, thing is, I got to do collect some firewood. A lot. Hang that up there so it doesn't fall into the snow. Get it wet. At least minimize that. here. All of this is already ready. Got an armful I can take already. All right, well, I got a little pile. I'm gonna triple that pile of wood. But for now, I'm going to stop for a sandwich and a beer. Today's beer, nothing fancy, just Heineken. The person I'm grieving is my grandmother. A couple days ago, she passed. And this was her beer of choice. She always would take a sip. I just like the taste of Heineken. And, take a sip. You got, be lucky if you had half a beer left. So, beer and a sandwich, guys. Beer and a sandwich in the woods. You want some? I'll put together a sandwich for you, Lilu. Who's this? What's up? This is my food knife. Opinel number 8. Customized. My grandpa used to call this liver burst. Lila, you're gonna love it. There we go. Oh, I know she can smell it. She's like, oh, what is that amazing stuff? What is that? All right, I'll give you. There you go. I'm even giving you some good bread. Look at that. Huh? You want that? Come over here. Expensive bread. She should be happy. This is the sprouted grain bread. This was a better tasting and cheaper alternative to Ezekiel bread. I'm gonna get another hunk of that. I use this for steaks and stuff. I wash it like a dish. This doesn't come out for things like cutting string and stuff, so it's like a butter knife, steak knife. There we go. And I'll wash that when I go to wash stuff, but right now, hungry. All right. Yep. Show you our view. Could be worse. Could be a little better. But I ain't complaining. All right, so I wanted to see how well this is going to work in here before it's nighttime and cold. Now, it's not going to get super cold tonight, but anyway, so when I made that hammer, I saved all the shavings. It was a beetle kill. That tree that I got all this wood off of was a beetle kill. So it had a lot of resin in it. It was almost like fat wood, but not quite. So it should light up pretty good with a lighter. And oh, dare I say that instead of a ferro rod or something, or some other magnesium bar, or some other, very popular at the time, which, don't get me wrong, you should have those. I've got a bunch, and I like them. But I also think you should carry a lighter. Lighters are better. The other options are backup. Friction fires, okay, backup. They're not meant to be the main way to start your fire. That's not what it's supposed to be. So, guys, like a couple bucks, a Bic lighter. So hopefully this resiny wood will light really good. All right, so yeah, I had a little bit of a piece of paper from like a package of something I bought the other day, and I had it still in the car. So I used that, and there you go. See, guys, the survival skills are very useful, but like not when it comes to enjoying yourself, right? Look, I have fun doing a lot of the survival stuff, but we got to remember that sometimes you need to just go. You should also make sure you're carrying a lighter. You should make sure you carry some kindling, and there isn't a single tribesman in the history of indigenous people ever that wouldn't tell you the same thing, right? So yeah, no, this thing looks like it's working good. What I wonder is if that's going to get hot. Oh, that's already warm. So yeah, this thing's totally going to get hot enough to cook. I'm so happy. So then this closes up like this. Bam. And I can adjust that, and it's got another one on the other side. What do you think? I don't think she's thinking much. Good. No wind's getting in there, blowing it out, getting stuff in my eyes. It's great. I'm digging it. Now, time to get some training in. Fueled by Heineken and liverwurst. Yeah, so I wasn't sure. You can put your hand there. You're not sure, right? So I took the snow that we've been tracking in and wanted to see if it'd be hot enough to cook. There it is. Sizzling, boiling immediately. It had done it to where it was completely dry, but I didn't put any more fuel in there. We barely got any flame going on. So like, look at this. Oop. See, we barely got any flame going. I could cook bacon on that right now. It'd take a little long, but all right. So I'm training for a jiu-jitsu tournament, so I'm trying to get everything, get my body ready, right? So I'm going to down a bottle of water since I had that beer and cue the Rocky IV music because I'm going to do some woods running parkour training, okay? I'm going to go up that mountain, that hill. That's a hill. But I'm at altitude that I'm not used to being at. And it does look steep, so it'll be good leg workout, and that's what I'm trying for. I'm just going to hike, not going to run, not getting after it like Rocky, but I'm going to come back down here, and I'm going to work on some other exercises, and I'll bring you guys along for the ride. Got to work out the demons, Yeah, no claw marks. Relatively straight line considering the terrain. I'd say we got ourselves a little bobcat. Like I said, no claws. So even if it's just a feral cat, there are cabins in the area and farms and ranches. Looks like we got a cat. Relatively fresh. Look at that. I put my finger there, which means it walked on this at some point where it got crusty enough, which it is right now. So yesterday, maybe not. Yesterday we had a storm come through here, so all this was fresh. So my guess is that's today. Maybe you're watching us, maybe not, but definitely today. These ones look older, but like I said, that could just be the sun melting it. That one's hard to tell. Definitely ran. Like I said, I think before we got here, that gives us a clue. Morning, and then they got a chance to melt the track just a little bit. She is tired and pissed at me. But look, we made it up. Got a guy down here taking pictures. It's hard to get to the very top of this because it's covered in ice. Not too shabby of a view. I think we're gonna go down that way, get to the road, walk back. Because I don't think she liked the snow. And this side of the mountain ain't got no snow. All right, well, we're back, and I spent about an hour on the top of that mountain. Lilu was stuck, and she was too scared, and probably her hips not feeling like she's not as young as she used to be, And, of course, she decided to roll around in some crap right there, somewhere around there. Should be where it is, and now I gotta smell that. I don't know what it is with animals and doing that, but it's gross. Yeah, so that's what's going on. We're back, and now it'll be interesting to see the calorie burn at the end of all of this. So we got more firewood to go get, and then I will make some dinner. It's only 2:00 though, so I'll spend a couple hours getting firewood probably. Yep, that's what's up, guys. So it's not really colder, but so I took my outer layer off. I put on my trusty duster. It is windier, so this is better. I like this thing, wax cotton, waterproof, windproof. Good piece of equipment, and it looks cool too. Big pockets. Yeah, the stuff I think is fun, like cowboying up and everything like that. It's also really useful. So have fun, but stick to useful stuff. Don't go get like the one that looks like it, but it's made out of poly, I don't know. I'm just rambling. Got some clouds coming in. Otherwise, it's been a nice sunny day. I'm wanting to cook my steaks that I brought, but it's only 3:00. So I got to keep busy, so I think I don't know if I'll do a video of this, but I'll probably do some solo grappling training, some solo drills out here in the snow, you know, being hardcore and all that. All right, so I actually decided to go ahead and get a fire going, develop a good bed of coals. It is February and it's cold out there, so might as well get some hot food in our stomachs. I got plenty of eggs to eat, and might as well eat them. So that's what we got going on. This isn't quite ready. If I take some water, I have to bring chairs next time. This sucks sitting on the ground. Bring a little bit of water. Is it sizzling? Ooh, it is. Yeah, okay, so it's getting ready. So all that smoke, man, I'm hoping it gets all the way out there. I moved the fire to the back because that seemed to be a problem. And I'm just not entirely certain why it's like that. Yeah, that's a lot of smoke, so. And it's not coming out. Man, I'm gonna have to figure this out. So I screwed up in a number of ways. So one thing is so this is way sloped, you know, and I didn't realize how bad it was. I'd have looked for another spot for the tent. But another thing is I made this too tight, so I can't quite stake that all the way down. So the wind's getting under it really well. So, but fortunately, it's not gonna be too bad today. Anyways, I got the smoke pretty much figured out. Part of it was I had it too far back. I had that open on the other side, like this thing that lets the air in there. So if you see this here, lets the air through there, fuel the fire, right? I had that open right at the fire, so I've made it to where there's no other place for the smoke to go, and it's burning cleaner. So that helps. I'm gonna do a couple of eggs. I am batting 1,000. This is all I've got. Yeah, caveman style. So we're gonna do some eggs today. I'm gonna eat about 4 eggs probably. So I'm gonna take this. Dog probably is gonna want a couple eggs, so I'll give her a couple of eggs. If you don't mind. Got the butter. It's getting warm in here, which is very good. So cast iron, so butter it up, buttercup. Butter it up. Yeah. No, I didn't bring salt and pepper, but I don't salt and pepper my eggs. So that's not a lie. Sometimes I do, but probably just gonna scramble these. Probably be easier. Yeah, they'll cook faster too. That seems to be hotter back there. There's no wind. In fact, it's warm. I don't need this at all. I'm going down to base layer. What are you doing, Lilu? All right. How's this looking? Ay, yow, yow, yow. Up until now, that hadn't been hot when I did that. All right. Lulu. Might make some tea too. Lulu. Come here, Lulu. Got some eggs for you. Eggs. Right there. Man, the dog doesn't care if this is hot or what. All right. I'm going to set up a couple pieces of wood to throw that on too. Annoying. All right, bon appetit, right? Well, let's try this again. I don't know what happened, but it didn't record properly. So I've decided I'd go ahead and talk about my grandma a little bit. Grandma, Thelma Hazelton Calloway was the maiden name. I did a lot of ancestry stuff, and actually I found, we all wanted to be like Grandpa, right? So, like, Grandpa had this adventurous life, and frankly, he might have been the most interesting, Hazelton. But man, the Calloway side of the family had much more interesting stuff. We're actually related to Daniel Boone. You see, our 7th grade uncle is William Calloway, if I remember right. Anyways, cousin to Flanders Calloway. Not 7th grade uncle, 7th grade grandfather. Cousin to Flanders Calloway. Flanders Calloway married Jemima Boone, Daniel Boone's daughter. So that makes Daniel Boone a 7th great uncle, removed of some way. Distant relation. Anyways, there's lots of mountain men, lots of woodsmen, lots of cavalry, lots of military, much more interesting stuff than what I noticed in the Hazelton side. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're great individuals, but I think I'm gonna say one thing that is undeniable, because there are people probably that might catch this video and that didn't really jive well with her. But I will say that they would have to agree that I don't know if there was a more hardworking person that I've ever met. I know. It's supposed to be Grandpa, right? Gene Hazelton was the one with the work ethic. He had a great work ethic. But if one of them was going to be taking a nap, it was probably Grandpa. If one of them was going to be reading a book when they could be doing something else, not like at nighttime when you can't really go do anything in our situation, in the afternoon. If someone was going to really be reading a book in the afternoon, it was probably Grandpa. If someone was going to be sipping on coffee when they could be cutting some lumber, Grandpa. Definitely Grandpa. Grandma would wake up routinely, wee hours of the morning. I mean, wee hours of the morning. Before the sun's even starting, before dawn, okay? Not even before first light. And she'd be up throwing wood around, sawing things, hammering things, using a drill, starting up the generator to do whatever. And then when we got up, she wouldn't complain. It was weird. Normally if someone's doing that, they're like, what are you doing? No. Oh, morning. Didn't bother her if we weren't up. Now, I felt bad, so I'd get up and start working with her. But if I were to do my morning ritual, which was to go to the toppest hill and watch the sunrise, she didn't care. She didn't stop. She didn't complain. She didn't say I needed to do something different than what I was doing. If Grandpa was going to stop and have his coffee, she'd just go to work. Unless she really needed help, she wasn't going to be bothered by someone else doing their thing. She understood that her neurosis that kept her from sitting still was hers to deal with and nobody else's. Just trying to get that in view a little bit. She didn't force it on anybody. So that was cool. This woman, she didn't handle emergencies particularly well. Somebody got hurt. It was Grandpa handling that. She kind of frantic. But other than that, she was the one tending to your wounds after the fact, after the initial treatment. She was the one building fires. She was the one doing the cooking. She did all the quote unquote womanly things and the manly things too. She set the standard. She set the standard for being a man. I see so many guys, man, they just bitch and bitch and bitch, you know? Maybe they're hardworking guys, you know, but then they'll turn around and be like, am I the only one who picks something up? Am I the only one who takes the trash out? You know? Understandable if you're constantly being asked to do it, but like, if you just get up and start doing stuff, you can't, you know. Anyways, that's a different thing. There's a few people, well, there's really not a lot of people that I know that I think if they're not like her now, that they will be like her. That really truly remind me of her. And it's so those qualities are so rare in men and women. I would like to see me be like that. I would like to see me be more accepting that my neuroses are not someone else's. I would like to see me, I've been getting up early and working hard and everything. And I also got to understand that I knew the woman at 70 something, 80 something years old. 70s, 80s, 90s. I didn't know her when she was young, in her 30s, 20s. So very well, there might be many people that are exactly like the way she is. Maybe she came to that later. She was impeccable in taking care of the body. She had certain values, and agree or disagree, she stuck with those, regardless of those around her and their protesting. I guess what I'm trying to say is that woman set the standard for what I want to hold myself to as a man. And I will definitely miss her very much. And you know, with my grandpa and my Uncle Randy, I see them in animals when I'm out here in the woods. This is why I came out here to grieve like this. So many of the smells and sounds and everything remind me of time that I spent with grandma and grandpa. But I always, you know, if I see an owl or something, I always feel like that's grandpa watching. If I see a fox, I always feel like that's Uncle Randy just going out there and being a wild animal. I don't know that I'll do that with Grandma. I think that I will look for my grandmother in those around me. The best parts of her, I think, exist in other people too. So I would like to hope that we are all capable of being as stellar of people. Although there were faults, I like to think that we are all capable of that. Of affecting our children and grandchildren the way that they have affected us. So, where will I see her again? I don't know. Maybe I'll see my daughter, get up at the butt crack of dawn and piss off all the men that she's with to get things done, and I'll go, that's Grandma right there. Maybe I'll see my wife refuse to get me alcohol or something. Well, not Grandma liked alcohol, despite what she said, but she wouldn't buy caffeine for Grandpa. But so maybe someday my wife will just be like her. No, you can go get it yourself. I'm not getting you a beer. And I think that that's a good way to do it. I will look for the best people that I miss. I will look for pieces of them in the people that are still here. Because that's, I hope, I'm going to hold out some hope that we're capable of being like that. Maybe even better. All right, guys. Now for dinner. You can see it's getting dark. So I got a couple of steaks. They're not amazing. But hear the sizzle. So, trying to get into this. I'm doing an inflatable mattress here, and it's got an inflate tab. And it just, wow. All right, there is not much for light, and I don't have a lamp, so just give you an idea how this is looking. Looking good, smelling good. I also could use this as a light. Where's the button? It's a little softer light. This is a solar charger battery pack. I got the phone hooked up to it right now. Smell that, Lulu? Lulu gets some of this steak. Oh, useful. Didn't know that. Didn't know that, but useful. You see better with just my eyes than the camera thinks. So it's not this dark. That's the pusher. The poker. I don't know if you heard that, but there's a car rolling around, but I thought I heard something snap. I don't think that's a car. That's a person. Now I hear an engine. Maybe it's a Bigfoot. Lift that up a little, let the air get in there. Watch the flame go. Oh, I need to move that. There you go. Bam. A little bit of air. One thing is, my grandma's memoirs, I will make sure they are published, man. That is a story. I think that, like, there's so many people making claims about how things were a long time ago, and it's like everybody who was around then is dying, and they can't, like, set anybody straight on how things were in the 50s and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought about that because can you imagine? I can imagine. But, like, could you imagine? Because I grew up with grandma and grandpa doing this stuff, right? Like, not only with them, but I was also a normal 90s kid sometimes too. But this is not that abnormal to me, having to tend to a fire while I'm cooking. People just cook, they start cooking. Hell, the phones do it for them anymore. You know, you get a Traeger grill, hook that thing up, hook the probe up there, your phone tells you when it's done, you pull it out, it's done. Right? But, you know, sitting here having to build a fire, tend to the fire, put the stove together just to cook some steak. Right? Things like that made me think about how life was lived decades ago, and how a lot is being forgotten. Yeah. See you when the steaks are done.